There we go. Alana, you want to put your screen in presenter view. There you go. Okay. All right. I'm going to do the opening so we can just move to big me. President Biden's speech outlining his foreign policy mission aimed at restoring America's place in the world, that's the quote, may not necessarily sit well with anti-war activists. Medea Benjamin, founder of CODEPINK and national treasure, I might add, joins us today to discuss her concerns and how we need to be pushing the Biden administration. Medea, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, great to see you. Great to be on with you.
Well, I'm glad to be having this conversation instead of how do we avert nuclear catastrophe under another 4 years of Trump. But at the same time, it's, that's not enough. We have our new president. Can you talk about Biden's history when it comes to foreign policy and what you think we might be able to expect from him moving forward?
Well, one thing is exactly what you were referring to, which is restoring the U.S. rightful place at the head of the table. He's really big on that. And it's just the mindset that gets us into all these problems around the world. The United States is not this exceptional country. The United States does not have the right or the responsibility to be at the head of the table. It's a different world right now. China is a big power. Europeans are big powers. A lot of the world is looking at the United States and saying, you can't win a war in Afghanistan. You messed up Iraq. Look what you did to Libya. And look what you do to your own people at home, whether it's COVID and all the people dying, or look at the insurrection in your own capital. We don't think you're quite the ones to be at the head of the table these days. So that's particularly problematic, to say nothing of the fact that he was a major supporter of the Iraq War, that he supported, all of the bad policies under the Obama administration, although he was actually to the left of his Secretary of State, and that he didn't support the U.S. intervention in Libya, and he didn't support the surge in Afghanistan.
Well, he did take money from Lockheed Martin for his campaign, and that's the money that's kind of out on the table. A lot of these arms industry folks funnel money secretly to these our elected officials. Saudi Arabia is our biggest global arms customer, and what CODEPINK has been talking about recently is how important it is and urgent that the U.S. end its support for the war in Yemen. Given the economic push from the arms industry, do you believe that is a possibility?
I think it's a partial freeze. Right now, there's a freeze on weapons that would be used in the war in Yemen. And I think they're going to kind of parse this by saying, all right, we'll stop some of these weapons, but we'll sell you all of these, quote, defensive weapons. As Julianna, it's just too big an industry. And it's an industry that has its claws not only in the White House, but through congressional districts all over this country. And it becomes a weird discussion about jobs, that we have to keep producing these ridiculous weapons because they create jobs versus all the jobs that would come if we had a real Green New Deal. But we're still fighting this dinosaur of a military, industrial, congressional complex that sucks up so much of our money into this staggering Pentagon budget, and then gives hundreds of billions of dollars of that back to the weapons companies. And the revolving door between Congress and the Pentagon into these weapons companies is just astounding. You see that even secretaries of defense sit on the board of Raytheon or General Dynamics, and the very companies that push for more war, because that's really where the only thing that give them profits is just ginning up conflict around the world.
This is my concern with President Biden. I mean, President Trump let the arms industry make money with the proxy war in Yemen. Uh, it's concerning that President Biden might have to, find a different way. When I was looking up information about Yemen, just to be prepared to talk to you, I found that Saudi Arabia wants out of Yemen. And so if Joe Biden's like, we're going to yank our weapons, we're not going to support the Saudis in Yemen anymore, he's going to go home, bless you, he's going to get a badge of honor for something that he may not actually deserve. I think what I was reading was, the Saudis are having trouble with their economy because of the drop in oil prices, because of the pandemic, et cetera, et cetera. And so they don't want to spend the money anymore on Yemen. Your thoughts?
Well, they also don't want the Houthis to win. And so, yeah, they want to get out, but they don't want to get out losing. So it's very complicated. And it's now become part of a larger conflict with Iran. And so I don't think the Saudis will just say, oh, okay, Biden is giving us the excuse, we're going to wrap it all up and go home. No, that's why it's important to keep pressuring the Biden administration to say, we're not going to support this war. And you have a lot of influence with the Saudis. Push the Saudis to negotiate an end to this war, open up the ports that they've been blockading, that keeps the material aid from getting into the country. And one thing that Biden can do immediately is to reverse Trump's designation of the Houthis as a terrorist organization, because that makes it very difficult for the humanitarian groups to work in the areas that they control. That could be done like now. And, I'm hoping that in his address on foreign policy, he would do that, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
I spoke with John Nichols earlier today. I asked him briefly what he thought about what Biden could do on foreign policy. And, he did talk about how Biden is, although his positions don't necessarily line up with John's, he is well versed in foreign policy. He actually knows about foreign policy. What do you think? Is that a positive? I mean, Trump.
That's a question I was just thinking when you were saying that. He knows about it, but he has this mindset about the U.S. being in charge of things. And I don't think he's going to want to get us out of Afghanistan or Iraq, because he knows you get out of Afghanistan and the Taliban are the ones who control most of the country right now. And we haven't been able to create in 20 years a government with legitimacy that can take that control. And I do think what's positive is he wants to get back into the Iran nuclear deal. It's really positive that he appointed Robert Malley as the Iran envoy, despite all the opposition that was coming fast and furious from the right wing in the U.S. and Netanyahu. So that's a good thing, because Robert Malley is a real diplomat. And you have to start changing U.S. relationship with Iran if you want to change things in Yemen, if you want to change the conflicts in the Middle East in general. So there's some hope there, but there is so much pushback for the status quo and the Israeli position vis-a-vis the keeping up this fight with Iran, that we've got to push back against that. And I think it's positive. The Biden team is wanting to, is also already called for renewal of the START treaty with Russia, and that's a positive thing. Has already rolled back the Muslim ban. That's a positive thing. Has already joined the the World Health Trade Organization. That's positive. Oh, and on the CIA, has put William Burns as head of the CIA, which is quite remarkable. I mean, the guy is a diplomat, and I think
talk about what that would mean.
Well, it could mean that if there was huge push from the international community and the grassroots, we could try to stop the CIA from being what it's been all these last years, an organization that has its own fleet of drones that extrajudicial murder has been its forte, to stop that, to make sure that not that those who committed torture actually held responsible, that the CIA does some cleansing, like happened under the Church Committee. So I think there's some positive things that we could push for in the CIA. The bad thing is that William Burns' director, his boss, is Avril Haines, the head of national intelligence. And she is somebody who was involved in justifying the use of drones, and the one who let the CIA hackers off the hook when they were trying to stop the Senate investigation of torture. So that is problematic. All of this is to say that there's divisions within the Biden administration, and that that's why a vibrant, informed, effective peace movement is really critical right now. And if I could put one plug in, Julianna, for something we've started at CODEPINK that I'm really excited about, is every Tuesday, you might remember that Obama had his Terror Tuesdays, where they picked the list of who would be killed by drones. We have our...
I'm trying to forget, but it's it's probably best not to. Yes.
Yeah. So on Tuesday evenings, we have our gathering where activists come together to learn about a specific issue and then actually take action at the end of the call. So they start out at 8 o'clock Eastern time every Tuesday. You can look it up by going to codepink.org/CODEPINK Congress and join those Tuesday calls. Tomorrow's is on Russia, and we've done on Yemen, on Iran. We're having ones coming up comparing militarism at home and abroad. We have ones coming up on Russia and China, and they're great because it's not just learning, it's doing something, calling Congress, writing to Congress, contacting the White House. We have to be active and shore up those people in the Biden administration who want to do the right thing.
This is great. It's great that they even have people in the administration who you are excited about. I've been covering the transition, and people are so used to everything being total shit that I think it's a little bit challenging for people to be like, wait a minute, that might be good. You know, I've been encouraging people to keep an open mind and to recognize how far we've come as activists, because I don't think Biden could go back to sort of an Obama era policies.
Absolutely. We're not sitting back and saying, oh, give Biden a chance. We've been working so hard during the whole transition period. And I think we meaning the activists who got involved, were part of nixing somebody who would have been horrific as head of Secretary of Defense, and that was Michelle Flournoy. And we had a big campaign getting feminists to say this would not be a positive shattering of the glass ceiling to have Michelle Flournoy be the first woman head of the Department of Defense, because she is a total hawk, especially when it comes to China. Mm-hmm. And we also nixed who was seen as a shoo-in for the CIA director, Mike Morrell, because of his being apologist for torture. So I think it's important that groups like ours get in the very beginning, before the administration even got into the White House, to say, these people absolutely know this would be a positive alternative. And we've just got to keep pushing now. And as you said, it's not like during the Obama years when people were afraid to put pressure on a Democrat. And the world has changed as well, so that there is not that same, quote, ease for the United States to just take these kind of unilateral actions. And also on the positive side, to find a silver lining in the horrific domestic situation we're in, is that Biden understands that he has to put, 90% of his focus on domestic issues. And that means less interest in creating havoc overseas.
Medea Benjamin, one of the things that's interesting going on right now is we have a global pandemic, not just a United States pandemic. And we also have the global crisis of climate change. Thoughts about Biden's foreign policy and how he could we could, if we wanted to, actually, well, he's already rejoined Paris. Paris isn't actually enough to solve the problems, but I think one of the best case scenarios in foreign policy would be that he does that joining of forces that he's talking about doing, that unity against sort of these common foes, which would be the global pandemic and global climate change.
Yes, but there the real wild card is China, because there is so much animosity towards China that was whipped up during the campaign that both Trump and Biden were guilty of. And now there are China hawks within the Biden administration. And China is the enemy that justifies endless Pentagon spending, new weapons manufacturing, high tech, robotics. And this is a total boon to that weapons industry. So we are saying China is not our enemy. We have to work with China on the climate issues. And I think John Kerry understands we have to work with China on the climate issues, but it's being posed as, will John Kerry's interest in working with China compete with other interests in the United States of seeing China as an enemy, a competitor? So there again, I think we have to work hard. And we've had this campaign on CODEPINK called China's Not Our Enemy, where every week we have a new discussion of a different aspect on ways that we could cooperate with China and actions that we can take to stop this new Cold War that has not only affected the way that Americans look at China, but also has led to a tremendous increase in anti-Asian attacks here in the United States.
Well, I am so grateful that you could join us today. Medea Benjamin, co-founder of the women-led peace group CODEPINK and co-founder of the human rights group Global Exchange. I have to say before we end, when I saw those people breaking into the Capitol on January 6th, I thought, can't they just toss them out? I've seen them toss Medea Benjamin out 100 times. Can't they just exit these,
Exactly. Yes.
They're good at throwing out.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do it? You never know.
Nice to be on with you. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much. And if you want to follow CODEPINK, you can go to Twitter, CODEPINK, and also follow Medea there, Medea Benjamin, Benjamin. I hope you'll come back as we enter this new administration, and hopefully we'll have some more wins to actually announce. It'll be pretty great.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Great talking to you. Bye-bye.
You're watching ACT-TV. I'm Julianna Forlano. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. I mean, usually when I have these great conversations with Medea, she's an activist, so she's always talking about what we're working on, but usually it's pretty grim. So I find that was like really great to have some hopefulness there. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Medea. That was great.
Thank you for having me on. It's really wonderful to connect with you again, and I hope you call me back on in the near future.
You too, and I love having you on, and I will be happy to have you on in the near future. I don't know why it took us so long since the last time. Everything's been crazy.
By the way, do you know when Biden is doing his talk?
I don't. I looked it up. It could be right now. I don't really know.
All right. Thanks. Good talking.
I understand he's not going to say anything about actual policy, but
yeah, right. It's going to be why we have to be at the head of the table crap.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Take care.
All right. All right. Take care, Medea. See you soon.
Yeah.
When they are being
all right. Alana, bringing you back in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that was a very smooth use of transitions and images. I thought that was our best one yet.
Okay, great.
Thoughts and questions?
Well, I was thinking when she was talking about, I mean, I have this question just about things that they bring up in general that are not, that I haven't pre-prepared. Like something that I could do, like, I could share another tab, right? I could share like China
Your
is not
dog.
our enemy. I don't know if I could do this quick enough, but like, for instance,
Your dog is so cute.
yeah, he's a good boy. Okay, so like I could do that and then I could scroll.
Oh, let me see. Scroll. Let me see it.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I don't like things with too much distracting text, right? So you want images of just images. A picture of China. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so you don't want scrolling. You don't want scrolling through a web page then.
Not really. Not unless we're talking specifically about a particular story and that you can scroll through that story in some way.
Okay,
There might be an opportunity to use that technique. I'm not putting it completely off the table, but just sort of big non-texty images are good.
Okay, well, if you want that specific thing, I mean, I think it would be hard because I would have to like unshare the images and then.
Yeah, don't unshare the images.
Okay, then I can't do it because I can't share more than one thing at a time.
Right. Yep. I mean, if we planned to talk about some article and you were going to scroll through it, that would be sort of in our 5 minutes pre-production to discuss or whatever as we're setting these up. Okay, let's just stick with what we're doing for now. We'll do the best we can with the images. If they bring up something completely foreign, your best bet, I think, is to we'll skip it. First of all, I could drop something in post. And second of all, it's just the most important thing is to keep your eye on like the screen and the look of it. And then because sometimes I do change things because I have to blow my nose or I know what's going on this end that you can't know because you're not right here with me. So you just kind of keep your eyes on the screen as much as possible.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So far, so good. What's next? Tomorrow we have Heidi
and then Sasha on Wednesday, and then Chuck Rocha on Thursday. He should be great. He should be a great guest.
What's the topic? I forget who that is.
He's a political strategist, and he wrote a book called T.O. Bernie. So
yeah. Awesome. Excellent.
Yeah, so I would think just like progressive political strategy under Biden.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Thank you. That's a good booking. So tomorrow, I'm assuming you're going to want pictures of people protesting, pictures of the Supreme Court, both the building and those fucking justices.
No dead babies. You don't want dead babies. You don't want fetuses.
No dead babies. No live baby. Pick. I would imagine. I haven't looked through sort of what she's going to cover exactly, but protest signs are good. The only thing that's good with heavy text is protest signs. Those are always excellent. You're always going to need probably a picture of Biden. I would just keep, you might want to have, if you look at your slides, just have like the top 5 or 6 slides be specific to the talk, and then always have a Biden, always have a Bernie, always have an AOC, because hopefully always have a picture of dollars, dollar signs and capitalism, something, always have a picture of the Capitol so that you can just bring those up regularly. That might be good. A nice picture of the earth, because we talk about the environment a lot, right?
Okay, sounds good.
Calling me from Pipersville, Pennsylvania. I'm not getting it. They can leave a message. All right. Great job today. I will catch you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Bye-bye.